Well, today we're going to take a look at some of the unwrapped palms that we have, and we decided to unwrap most of them because it looks like if you look at some of my past history here, we only have about a 20% chance of having to rewrap the windmill palms, the trachycarpus again. So we're going to go ahead and take a chance and unwrap them, and we're going to go around and show you some of the bigger palms and show you how they look and show you how we wrapped them up and how we protected them, or just give you a little rundown of it. And so that's what we're going to do today. And let's take a look and see what we got. So here you have a look at our palmetto Mocksville, and you can see we had it wrapped up with about just one strand of 100 mini lights, which is only about 40 watts, and we just tied up the fronds at the bottom and put two stakes up around it, and wrapped a few of the lights around the outside here, and put a frost cloth over it, and then we put a what's called a tower heater cover. It's made to cover some of the those heaters that you put on your patio over it to give some extra protection, because at -6, that's asking a lot of just the frost cloth. And looking at it on the inside, it turned out really well, so we're real happy with it. So that's a good look at that. And here we have our Louisiana. We had it covered up with a single 50-watt spotlight down here at the bottom, pointed up, and covered with about a 10-foot cover. And of course, we had all the fronds tied together where it's a little smaller. And so it did really well here, and doesn't have really any damage at all. So we're real happy with that. Back here, you can see we have one of our larger Sabal miners, and this palm and here's our larger Sabal miner. This one was uncovered and took a little bit of spotting damage, but did one of the best among the Sabal palms. And of course here we have our rocket palm, our large trachycarpus, and this palm did real well. Also, I'm looking at it here now, I just see very little frond damage, and this was covered. It just had 100 mini lights in the crown, and it's got about 3 strands of 100 mini lights down the trunk and in the crown area there. But we're real happy with that. At -6, the difference this year was we had no wind, and so the frost cloth, and this one had a tarp over it, did the trick. And so we're real happy. And we'll go on and take a look at the next one. Well, we're even uncovering the mule today, and as you can see, it looks a little rough, but it's not really as bad as you think, because the middle 3 fronds are tied tightly together, and they look really green. So we're really happy with that. We're going to leave it out for a little while. We may have to just wrap it in frost cloth, maybe 1 or 2 more times is what we're hoping. And but we're going to let it air out here for a while and see how it does. It looks like this will come back really strong when summer hits. So it's a shame that we had such a low temperature again. I was hoping to save a few more fronds this year, but it's just not really possible with it this cold, -6. But overall, we're pretty happy. And also, speaking of successes, here's our Aucuba japonica, which was frozen completely to the ground with ice on it and completely unprotected, and never had much snow on it or anything. And it endured the -6, and once it's warmed up today, it's popped back up and looking pretty good. So I'm really impressed with the Aucuba japonicas. And of course, here's another one of our Fatsias. Now these were under a cooler because I think they would die back, and it's got a little burn in the middle. We'll just have to see how that does. I guess it'll come back. But the Aucuba japonica is awesome. And for those that are wondering how cold a temperature it can take, well, there you go. Of course, it was covered in ice, may have helped it a little, but it's under a bamboo plant here, so it's got a little overhead cover, but you know, it took some really cold temperatures. And here's our Birmingham that we had covered, and this palm was covered with a frost cloth and just 100 mini lights just wrapped around kind of the bottom there. So it had 40 watts of heat, and like I said, just 3 layers of frost cloth, all it had, and -6. It did fine, but its twin over there that I left unprotected is completely toast. So without protecting this palm, it would have been in trouble. Yeah, I think these palms, or at least the ones I have, are about 5-degree tolerance. So that gives you an idea of that one. And here's 2 of our other palms. Got our Wagnerianus here. You can see it's done really well. It's in perfect shape. This one had about 300, I think, mini lights. That palm, the Trachycarpus, had about 200 or 300 mini lights on it also. And it was just covered with frost cloth, and there again, a tower heater cover. I only put those tower heater covers on when temperatures are under 0 probably. And here's one of our other big successes. This palm was covered with frost cloth and was a fountain cover. Is what we had to use on this one. And so it had 2 layers, and just had 100 mini lights in the crown, and it has about 200 up the trunk, and did fine. As you can see, it has just very little damage, and so we're real happy with it. Sabal minor here in front of it, you can see the size. This one took a little damage. We have another Louisiana back here. I think I showed you on an earlier video that's burnt to the ground. Our Brazoria here, I don't know if you can see it. This tall one here is burnt also probably to the ground. And we have a small dwarf Sabal minor here that actually looks pretty good, just has some spotting on it, so it's got to be in a little bit better shape. There's another Sabal minor in the back there, and we have a small Louisiana here that was covered by a cooler, so that's most of the things in this area. We have quite a few palms here in this corner, and but 2 of them, the Brazoria and the Louisiana, are going to have a slow recovery there. It'll take them about a year to come back. They should live, but they're going to be in bad shape. So, all right. So that's about it for today, and we'll see everybody later. I hope you enjoyed this palm update, and we're really happy with the results after the temperatures we had. So we'll see you later.